So Kanye West is working with Netflix, and he just released the second part of his documentary of Genius, a Kanye West trilogy. And so there's going to be a total of three parts, and the second part just came up. And so I wanted to tap in with y'all and just talk about the history of Kanye West in this time that we've seen. I mean, this is very much the old Kanye, and I mean, we love to see it. Just him in all his glory. I'll just go over 10 quick things that I feel like Kanye really, I took away from the documentary. And the first thing I want to say is that, listen, it's a great documentary. I mean, say what you want about Ye. And I know everybody's saying this, but at the end of the day, I mean, the journey is real, the struggle is real, and the dude did the work. And if that's what it's about, and then that's what we got to talk about. Um, and the first thing I noticed from watching this documentary is that he was always this way, and I can't stress it enough because, I mean, I guess people always have a thing of putting somebody in their shoes and say, "Why would he doesn't act like me or he's not like me?" Regardless, he is who he is. He did what he did to get where he got. He got there. That's all that matters. And we see now that he's just become a bigger personality. His mind has continued to grow in his craft. I mean, people who work at companies do that business every day. We know those people who can never put their cell phone down, can never stay off the email. This guy is in a field that fuels his passions. Of course, he works at it. Of course, he's super passionate about it, and he's good at it. So, I mean, you gotta respect that, man. You honestly gotta respect that from him. Let me see if I can loop this real quick. You actually gotta respect that in him. Let's see if I can loop this. And then also too, he made the rock cool. I mean, even this picture here, let me rewind it for a little bit. Even this picture here where he has, the rock chain and he has to take it off because it's dangling too loud. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, how cool is that? I mean, we didn't really see pictures of Jay like that outside of a magazine. And even Jay was such a big artist, he only was catching the cover. You get what I'm saying? So it's a cover and then it's a couple of spreads, but like Ye had the opportunity to give it to us in more places, you know what I'm saying? So he gave us the Unsigned Hyped, he gave us the MTV. I mean, he did a lot of work in a short period of time. I mean, from 2002 to I believe the end of the documentary, I'll go back and check, but I believe it was a very short time. I mean, the guy spent 10 years making beats to really only have 2 years to make it, right? Because look, it could have fell apart as we seen on this part. The third thing that I want to say, you know what I'm saying, he had the conversation about being the best rapper producer with Big Face Gary. I mean, and we all know we've seen, if you're not familiar and you just want to see content from that time where Kanye was talking to Big Face Gary about and getting into the disagreement about him being the best producer rapper. um, you know, Choke No Joke has those on camera where he's saying that called The Last Days of the Rock, where he pretty much followed them around. And if you pause some of the shots around the Paid in Full, press conference and PD Crack and those guys and Beanie, you'll see that Choke No Joke was right there with the camera, and pretty much, Kanye being Kanye wanted his respect. Don't call me a producer, rapper, the best. Call me I want to be the one of the best rappers. I want a shot at the throne, and that's pretty much what he did. He took his shots with a bunch of people that would have normally said he wasn't cool enough, didn't have enough street cred, wasn't G enough, but he did it. And what Kanye necessarily did was he took what I'm saying, this thing of theirs and made it this thing of ours, because that's exactly what it was. It was their thing. It was Dame, Biggs, and Jay. That was their thing. Everybody else was a part of it in their own environment. But Kanye, being an outsider, came in and really made it what it was. It gave us the journey. So, in the aspect, he made The Rock a super relatable brand compared to untouchable product. He went from, and this is no downplay, he took The Rock, which was like the Rolls Royce and the Jaguar type of deals, and made it more of a Toyota Honda that more people could access. but it didn't dilute the brand at all. Still high value stuff. Um, I wanted to talk about the song "The Bounce," right? That he did, because I could have swore that the beat for the bounce was different. I mean, that was an unfinished beat, I'm guessing. And we all know how Kanye works. He starts with a couple of riffs. He has a couple of words, and then he looks to collaborate to fill in what he was missing. And in that scene, we really get to see his genius, because in that scene where he's in the studio with Jay, was he in the studio with Young Guru, you know, say he had the song and I want to say a three-way, right? He had pretty much three bars, and those three bars was in different order. And Guru, if you watch the scene, I'll try to pause it here. Guru sort of gave him the feedback and was like, look, switch it up. Put that middle part first, put that first part last, and put the last in the middle. And Kanye paused for a second, and then he went, all right, got it. Magazines call me a rock star. Girls call, and had it all put together from what Guru said, and to make the album, I mean, total mirror match the swag from Jay on that track, and made it what it was. I mean, I honestly consider the bounce to be a throwaway track, but Kanye made it interesting and, of course, legendary. I want to talk about that car crash too, because after watching the documentary, I see that the car crash was definitely his nexus point. If you guys, you know what I'm saying, are up on, like, you know, the Marvel timeline, you know what I'm saying, alternate dimension type of thing for him. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, I don't think we would have got the same Kanye if there was no car crash, right? 100%. If there was no car crash, Kanye would have 100% continue to make beats for other artists and not really go for it like how he went for it. And the reason why I say that is because you know, he said in the documentary that he was sitting in the bed in the hospital for 7 days just thinking. I mean, his mind was going. So he's just thinking. And what he was thinking about was, you know, pretty much right here in this scene is where he said, I was sitting in the hospital, I'm thinking how I could just step it up. He said clothes. He said how he could be the best dressed rapper, but I really think he was like, I could just step it up. Just step it up. I could become the best dressed rapper. And the reaction of this interviewer is priceless, because I was saying, like, I don't think he realizes what type of exclusive he got. He pretty much got the first interview from the Nexus, from Kanye, move, you know, evolving almost to Ye. But I was gonna say something else. A lot of these artists, when they have these near death experiences, they 100% change. I mean, look at 50 Cents, and how he changed. I look at any other artist that had a near death experience, they changed into, just value their time and be bigger and do more, because they feel like it is so precious. Like, they really get to see how precious it is. I mean, I guess that these people's egos are so inflated, right? That they go to the point where they feel like you know, what's it called? Invincible. They feel like they invincible, but this humbles them. Like, yo, I can really be touched, hurt, killed, maimed, you know what I'm saying? Or just taken out of this life in general, and not have a need, nobody have a need for them. And I guess Kanye really saw that, and he really pushed forward to change that. And it wasn't even a gunshot; it was just a car accident. He came back pretty much from the dead. As we see, the episode was filled a lot with the dentist, and the dentist. I never heard a dentist stopping somebody's career. The dentist telling him he needed to have all type of facial reconstruction surgery. He's just like, oh man, that's going to take him out the game for a year, 2 year. He like, oh man, but how great. I mean, and not great, but you know, this, I've heard it before, that sometimes you have to listen to yourself over the doctor. The doctor wanted him to do it. Ultimately, Kanye to the doctor, Kanye is just a check, right? But his career is in his hands, and he had to make a decision regardless of the consequences. He couldn't get the type of surgery he wanted when he wanted, so it was going to put him out of the time. He had to strike while the time was hot. He decided not to get the extra surgery, and saved his career. Ultimately, the doctor didn't care about his career, you know. But he had to take it into his own hands. And so because of the car crash, we got this type of Kanye. Now, I do think that he might have always become Kanye, but it would have just took longer. I mean, I feel like after the car crash, he sped everything up. It might have took him 2 years to get that video. He was like, man, forget that, and got it done in almost, I'm guessing, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, something like that. Um, in this same interview, he said he wanted to be the best dressed rapper. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit, is because being a better dresser is more simpler than you think. It's not necessarily to the level we see him at now. That's futuristic. That's a style, right? That's an evolution of a dress style. He started like just what he has on coordination. I mean, we've all seen Boomerang where Pops, saying, had the jacket open and he's like, you gotta coordinate, gotta coordinate. I mean, that's really what was doing here. He had an orange shirt on with a polo field jacket, I'm guessing, with a fleece, an orange fleece liner, right? That's coordination with the goal. That's coordination. This is all uptown Harlem dope dealer swag. I mean, in Brooklyn swag. I mean, this is what how Jay-Z dresses. This is how Dame and them dress, especially for them just to have roast sessions around everybody. I mean, that's really all they did was roast each other all day over there at Baseline. And Kanye understood the assignment because every time we seen him at this period, he had a throwback. He had the Nolan Ryan joint. He had the, Chicago Mitchell and Ness. He had all the things that he needed to be relevant in the conversation at the time. And then fast forwarding, even when he had the album release, you saw he had on the button up. Now this was, I'm guessing, after the change clothes and go type of era. So he was with it. He was with it, and he had a lot of money. He had a lot of money. I was really happy in this one for my next one. This is number 6. I was really happy to see that him and Jamie Foxx working together. I mean, Jamie is an extremely talented person. I mean, whether it comes to comedy, whether it comes to acting, as we all have seen, and now with the help of Kanye when it comes to singing. I mean, the guy proved himself as a real triple threat. And it was good to see that he's not just a mindless, singer where walks in, they hand him a piece of paper, he goes in the studio, a booth, and he sings it until he gets it right. That's not really what he's doing. He's working with, I mean, and also it shows you the genius of Kanye, which is him just being a good producer, meaning like, look, this is the idea I had, this is the tone. Here it says this. I want you to say that. I want you to do this, and then come up with something on your own. And then they go in there and they do it, and it just came out. I mean, Jamie Foxx perfectly did it. Pretty much one take from what the clip showed. I don't know if it was edited further, but he pretty much one take that thing, and wow. I mean, great to see. So him and Jamie Foxx had locked in for 2 songs, I believe, altogether, but on the documentary it was only the one, which I believe was Gold Digger. No, I'm sorry, it was not Gold Digger. It was the Slow Jams, yeah, Slow Jams. And then I mean, we see the big difference where Kanye trying to go to Dame at his hotel and try to really get Dame to unlock the budget, and Dame kind of being like whatever. But you see the difference, the change when he went to go speak to Pharrell. I mean, real respect, real. I mean, for what Kanye does, people who do it as well can really respect that. I mean, this is also a conversation when people say, what I'm saying, go, get your message to those who can appreciate it, or if you're getting bad feedback from certain people, you're talking to the wrong people about it, what I'm saying. So he is a prime example of going to speak to the right people, and getting real respect that will motivate him to the next step. I mean, Pharrell gave him a huge encouragement. It looked extremely good on Through the Wire DVD, and I mean, it just put him in a powerful position for people to start paying attention. So shout out to the journey. Through the Wire ended up being a great story. But see, this the thing though, like the documentary would have you believe that they were all believing in Through the Wire, when it was no, they were believing in him. You know what I'm saying? The world loves a comeback story. So when he presented Through the Wire, they was like, oh, they had already heard of him, and the world was pretty much awaiting for something to happen to him. I mean, it was pretty much like a draft pick, right? And they were waiting for his first game, and he had a window of opportunity to strike gold. And he did. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, he had a high potential for a long time. He had Chicago. He really had Chicago with him. He really had all New York with him. He had people supporting him. He put it out there and he blew. I mean, it's how it works, right? I mean, it's just hard to get to that level. It's such a straight line. I mean, people have, ups and downs, highs and lows, setbacks. He had no kids along the way. He wasn't messing with no girls. He just got to the work and then came back for all that. I mean, that's what they say he's supposed to do, and that's what he did. I mean, there's no footage of him at clubs, there's no footage of him, nothing. But I will say he always had girls around, right? Because look, and girls know this, that girls love a producer. Girls love a producer, man. I mean, he had the girl when he went to go to the doctor. The girl went over there to take him, and she was talking to the Coodie, and I thought, is that the girl when Kanye had got did through the wire when he was like, "Mr. Rainey, I'm gonna marry your daughter," and then in the other song, "All Fall Down," when he was like, "She a Delta, so she been throwing that dynasty sign." So I mean, like, I'm guessing that was the girl, but he always kept the girl around, and I just thought that was interesting to connect that line to actually see her in the doc. Um, and then also talking about girlfriends, and I guess he was probably talking about that same girl when he was in the studio when he was in the studio, well, at Dame Dash's room, right? He had the song. It looked sound like it was called "Me and My Girlfriend," right? And it was kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde joint that Jay did, and I had no clue that he did that too, But so some of these songs you think that maybe they locked in post, we see all this and they created it, but I had no idea that he had Me and My Girlfriend from 2002. Come on, yay! Like, man, I was very happy to see his Grammy speech, and that's pretty much my last talking point. I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, the pressure was on him. The album was out. Made it in time. It was received very well, and then when it came time for the speech, he nailed it. I mean, because he had the 10 nominations. People were like, well, what are you going to do if you don't win? And then that's always a question, especially in every interview leading up to it. And he just said, we'll never know. And I mean, to me, that was the ultimate mic drop and put him on the second step to becoming the artist we know as Ye. I mean, the first one was definitely Car Action. The second was that. And then, there's a couple more that we all know that apparently they're going to talk about in part 3. So, that was my 10 things that I got from the Genius Part 2. If you guys enjoyed this, of course, subscribe, like, share. I'll probably do one for the third, but it depends. Because the third they're saying is after Kanye had been away and not filming with Coodie and Chike for about 6 months, right? So I mean 6 years, sorry. So he was out here really being Ye. I mean, but of course, still living a very high profile life. There's clips and footage, and I think we're gonna hear more of and see more of a different and a change between Coodie and Kanye, and we're gonna see like, basically we might get some direct interviews, of course, like we see how of what he's going through and how he's changed, or maybe even a look as to what made him change, uh, and we get to see if he really did have some sort of mental health issues that led to some sort of obsessive compulsive, what I'm saying, disorder. But regardless, Ye is Ye, and he is in a field where you'd be surprised how many other people are just like him, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's able to fly to the heights and the level. Because I mean, to do something every day, the same thing over and over again, that leads to what? Exactly, insanity. And so, it's a little bit of the business, it's a little bit of him, and it's a little bit of everybody else, right? So, but at the end of the day, everybody should check out the second part of the Genius Kanye trilogy. Great job by all parties involved. I'm really excited that they brought this. I mean, and it's been a great weekend with it. I mean, he did Donda uh, in Atlanta. Then he's doing this Netflix parts 1 and part 2, and then he was in Miami doing the live event for Donda 2. I mean, it's just been a lot of Kanye, and very happy to see him. Just working, doing what he does best. It's definitely inspiring. It's motivating, and everybody, if you're an artist and you like music like that, then this is where you should check out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm your boy Awesome Nobody. I try to keep this short. So drop the thumb for the like, and I'll check y'all next video. Peace out, y'all.